Hello, we've just finished watching episode 9, the penultimate episode of Australia versus the World. Well, actually, full disclosure, we watched it last night, but for reasons I won't go into, we weren't able to record then, so we're catching up now.
We are so different, Michael. You know, if it was me, I would have just said what it was, but I'm being sensitive. But anyway, yeah. This was a frustrating episode for me
Yeah,
because, like the previous episode, like the two previous episodes, there was real opportunity to mix things up, but they're just too afraid to do it.
yeah.
We should probably talk about what happened. Sorry. So the person who
No,
got
I was just thinking about the fact that people who maybe didn't watch the first one may not sort of realize because we haven't been saying it, but you are someone who's only watched one season before,
yes,
and not any others, so you're
yep,
coming at it from a different perspective.
yep, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm everything that I say should be coloured by that totally because I am a complete survivor noob.
Anything wrong, by the way?
So tonight, Shonee was kicked off. But during the episode, it just felt like, oh, there's a real opportunity. I mean, okay, so we should probably talk. The big thing that happened during this episode was that Luke basically convinced everyone, including Parvati, that he does not have an idol.
Yes. He sort of went back and forth. We'd seen from the previous preview him saying to Janine that he didn't have one. And I kind of wondered whether perhaps that was because, maybe if he won the immunity challenge that he might want to give it to someone else, which is, I guess, what ended up happening. But he just didn't want to tell her. I think he just wanted to have something to keep to himself so that he could big note himself at the end by saying, "Hey, I had this the whole time and I didn't even have to play it. That's how good I'm going."
Do you think that he thinks that Janine is going to be the one that gets voted off in the next episode, so that she'll be loyal? I mean, I don't think it's
I
just
really
really
don't
bizarre.
know what he thinks.
Yeah. Like when we saw the ad for it, I thought, oh, this is a real power play. But then when we saw it, this is like when he told Parvati as well. It seemed like it was a power play, but actually, he's like Chaos Boy, like me. It's just
He is. Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing. There is a degree to which sometimes when he does well, it's because he's being chaotic. But I felt like this time he was being chaotic, but he didn't even really know why. It wasn't sort of serving any purpose. You know, that whole thing
no
I was
end
just
game,
saying about carrying an idol to the end. Like Parvati could just shoot it down at a final tribal anyway. She could say, "Well, I knew you had it the whole time." And everyone knows he's mostly, well, at least partly not playing it because of Parvati's advantage. I don't really know what he's trying to do. What he thinks he's doing. I mean, they said go down to 4. I think he thinks he's taking Janine. I'm not sure how he thinks he's getting Sari voted off.
Yeah. Okay. So let's cover the bits with Shonee first before we get to talk about what might happen in the last episode.
We barely heard from her for several episodes. Like it seemed pretty clear she wasn't going to do well.
I mean,
just from the edit,
I was fluctuating on who I thought would go across. I mean, if you saw my notes across the episode, but most of the time I was saying, "Oh yeah, it's Shonee. It's definitely Shonee."
I mean, there are some times that people are not doing much, but they end up getting taken to the end anyway. And then that can be disappointing too, because at the final tribal, you're like, well, yeah, they're probably not going to win. But this was not one of those times.
No. They've basically gotten rid of all the hangers on now.
Yeah, she does mention to Parvati, imagine I'm sort of a younger version of yourself, because she talks about how... well, you might not know, but in one of the seasons that Parvati didn't do as well, she had a young kid at home who was under a year old, which is the same as Shonee on this season.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, not sure whether that's whether maybe her head's just not quite in it, or she's missing home, or it could be nothing like that at all. Like sometimes people do lots of things, but it just doesn't make for the best story, and they don't really make the edit.
Yeah, well, there was just more compelling stuff to show. Yeah, it's
It's just unusual that it's her.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
based upon everything that you said. The Shonee squad was very powerful.
Yeah, you got a really different perspective on her, this being the first that you saw of her. And I'm sure there'll be some American viewers who watch it who may never have watched Australian Survivor who watch this one and just think, what was she on there for at all? Yeah.
Well, would you agree with me that she was more interesting when George was on?
Yeah. Well, we saw more of her then as well. One of the things, again, because you're not sort of in the fandom of it, there's people who do charts basically of the number of confessionals, like the
Not
number
you
of
though,
talk to
right?
camera.
You don't do that.
No, I don't do that. I mean, I hear what other people say about it, but where they almost use it as a way of sort of tracking the edit. Yeah, and what they sort of show is that, sometimes people will just, especially the Australian Survivor is known for being a bit more ruthless with their edit. Like they don't try to make sure everyone gets equal airtime. If they think someone's not interesting, they or their story doesn't suit the purpose, they just don't show it. Whereas in the American one, they tend to even it out a little bit more and try, especially lately, try and make it so that everyone gets their fair show.
Is that so that it's harder to predict
air all
what's
their
gonna
characters?
happen, you
That as
reckon?
well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, like most of what we saw of Shonee was around David and especially George. It really makes me wish that you had have seen some of Shonee and George on a previous season when they worked together. Yeah, because it's just totally different.
It's interesting.
And after that, we've barely seen her at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I found George annoying, but maybe the show would have been more interesting if he was still around.
It definitely would have. Yeah, because he's the kind of guy who just, even when he had things on his terms, he would shake things up. Yeah. And David really was like that as well. The hard thing to know this time is that because of his pre-relationship with Parvati, whether it would have been the same or whether he just would have been another one, it just would have been their army kind of together.
So when Parvati confronts Luke about the idol, and he says, I never had an idol, I just wanted you to rip the thing up. I was like, she don't seem happy about that.
No. She's like, you tricked me.
Yes.
It's like there's weight in those. And he's like, it was just a little trick.
Yeah, it's just a little trick, just a trust exercise.
She can definitely do, it's almost like a school teacher voice or something, like, you should not have done that. Like, I have power of you.
Yeah, and in fact, so let's have a quick talk about Parvati, who I think we can both agree is MVP this season. I am definitely in the same corner as there is no way she's not going to win this.
Yeah, I don't want to say no way, but because sometimes things can happen, but it seems very difficult. Yeah, she's also well suited to win a challenge.
Yeah, that's right, because they have the challenge still for the 4, so she could get immunity. That would be interesting.
And I'm not sure if you remember from last night what that challenge looked like, but they're sort of standing on little
the small bits
poles
of
with their
bamboo.
arms out. Yeah, so there's definitely going to be a pain element.
Yeah,
to
she's given birth, so
Yeah, and she's she's a yoga teacher. You think that some of that would be about
she's
taking
been
yourself off to
such a
another
strong
place and
contender for
centering
all the
yourself.
challenges this season.
Yeah,
She's so good, and she's got such
just sort
a
of too
commanding
dominant for the
presence
season.
as well.
Oh yeah,
Like there is no one like her on this season.
yeah. And when she played like her second season, I think it was, she was still like 25 or something. Like she was still she was like this from the beginning.
Wow, that's impressive.
And she's just that kind of person.
No, it's very impressive. And part of me was sort of like, I don't want her to win because it's the obvious win for me.
Yeah, yeah,
But also the other part is she's done the best. She deserves this.
yeah. I really hope now that the Aussies don't just sort of
Try and
somehow
get rid of her.
swing a win for Janine or Luke.
Yeah. So
Personally, I don't think Sari deserves it either anymore. Although she at least worked with some of the World Tribe.
So
but
the only way that I can see Parvati getting booted off, and it's extremely unlikely, is number one, she doesn't win immunity, which is a big ask. There's only 4 people there. Number two, somehow Luke and Janine convince Sari to go against Parvati because they'll say there's no way you'll win against Parvati. Something like that.
And they haven't really showed anything about what Sari has been thinking most of the time, apart from what she thought of Lisa. Like, we don't really hear what her plan is about how she gets to the end, just that she's with Parvati. And she will know that she's unlikely to win against Parvati. So it's like, is she just waiting until the final 4 to make that move?
And she has played the game in a way where she hasn't closed herself off to people who aren't Parvati.
Yep.
She's always been willing to talk to other people.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's her game plan. I mean, it'll be a pretty big game plan, I gotta say.
And she's really hasn't done very well in any of the challenges, and that's not that unusual. Like, she's never been, especially good at them. So it seems unlikely that she will win one.
Oh, you just
reminded me. There was also some interesting... Oh, you're gone.
Let's talk about that challenge that happened.
Yes.
The ball one. Oh, man, and apparently it's one that Luke has done before and failed. But that is hard. That is a hard challenge. You got to get timing right, have the stamina running up those stairs and back down again. I
think you're remembering the previous one.
Oh, am I? Oh, I am remembering the previous one. Sorry.
The one last night was a series of different things. Like they had to
do the balance thing.
They needed to
the
balance.
tower right at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, put it through a hoop and
You're right. Sorry.
And stepping over the suspended thing that they could trip over. That no one actually hit. I don't think you didn't get to see how that works.
So they didn't make it clear, but I sort of understood by what Jonathan was saying that was connected to the platform they're putting the things on. So if they knock it, it'll fall down. Yeah, he didn't really make that clear.
Many times before. Yeah, because you didn't see anyone just nudge it. It didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
And being taller in that one, probably unless you were very tall, is probably an advantage there because they were all the same height, or it seemed to be. There are some challenges where they adjust for height or adjust for weight, but that's not one
like
of them.
that one where they had to push out their 1/3 of their body weight or whatever it was. Sorry. Anyway, so you were saying?
No, that's all right. So, I mean, it was just very windy, and as much as Shonee sort of looked like she might be and she blamed the wind at the end. If it wasn't for the wind, I might have got it. But
I
also
really wanted her to win that too.
Kind of blew his over.
I just wanted something different to happen to what I was expecting. But even then, I was sort of like, then they'll just vote Janine off. That's all they'll do. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether they would have voted Janine off. I think... Yeah, when it comes to predicting, I think if Luke doesn't win, that they're going to vote Luke off. I think they want to go with Janine, actually. I know Shonee was trying to put it in their head that
Janine's dangerous because
a great speaker and everything, and they were definitely listening to that. I think she just... I'm not sure that she's done... most of what she's done, she's sort of done quietly, whereas, Luke has won, 3 challenges in a row. And it's hard to argue with that. And part of the editing also made me think, the way they were talking about, hey, one of us at least needs to get to the final tribal. This was a conversation between Janine and Luke. It made me think, and I could just end up being dead wrong, but it made me think, oh, one of them is going to go. And I don't know, Janine's kind of been in with both Suri and Parvati.
Do you think it's going to be Luke? It's okay to make.
Yeah.
It's okay to be wrong, Michael. It's okay. Just make a wild assumption.
Well, I'm also thinking about, okay, so if they do that, who let's say they vote off Janine, who does Janine vote for? Like Janine and Luke have kind of been buds and they played on a season together previously.
Well, I think if
Janine's played a whole game with Luke, like if they get rid of Janine, doesn't Janine vote for Luke? Whereas would it necessarily go the other way if they got rid of Luke?
I don't actually
I'm not
know.
sure. Or is his vote up for grabs?
I don't really know what the jury is thinking, basically. So it's going to be, this last episode is going to be a really, really fun, interesting one.
And that's one of the central, changes every season. Like every jury is different. How people manage the jury along the way. Sometimes the jury values some things more than other things. They can try and guess at it based on having seen some of their games before or the fact that they're return players.
Yeah, actually, I said it in the chat last night that the fact that this is such a short season would mean that they didn't have time to get to know the people who were going to be on the jury, so they had even less foresight or possible opportunity to figure out what direction the jury or the different jury members are going to be going at. And I also noted in that chat that it's disappointing that it's such a short season because I kind of like seeing all the emaciated people right at the end of the season. Everybody's doing just fine this season, don't you worry.
Yeah, and look, they've been getting rewards and things along the way, and at that auction, Shonee had like a plate of ribs that was massive.
Yeah, and Sarah ate an entire
there's another shot at one point early on where George is eating just like this massive mound of rice that he's just eating out of. Whereas other seasons, it's especially not so much now, but in earlier seasons, they would be just scraping grains of rice out of the bottom of a bowl.
So at the tribal council, gosh.
Well, one thing I guess we haven't talked about, because there wasn't actually many things that happened in this episode, but one of the things is that Parvati puts Janine, knowing that he's got an idol, Parvati puts Janine up to asking Luke, oh, hey, do you have an idol? And Luke, as we saw in the preview, says, no, I didn't. And then that really makes Parvati think, like, why are you doing that? How close are you? Are they about to try and pull something over on me? But I think it's going to be something that comes up at the end as well. Like I guess I'm predicting that Janine ends up at the end, but I'm also predicting that Parvati is going to say, sort of in that tribal, you didn't even know that your ally had, and I did. Yeah, we'll see.
So at the tribal council, pretty much, so I think someone was talking, and Luke basically goes aside with Janine and just says, okay, look, I just want to, you and me in the final three, right? He says, you're not going to try and keep me off? And she says, no, I won't. She's very convincing. And I do not believe her for a second. He gives her his immunity that he won from the challenge. And then when he sits down, Parvati gets out her immunity idol and says, oh, I might play it on me or I might play it on Suri. Oh, well, I guess we'll see. And Luke says, well, I'll get mine out as well. And like, dun, 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 big reveal for
and
everyone.
Maybe I'll play it on Shonee. And everyone's like, no, you won't. Like, it was such a hollow
I actually
statement.
thought to myself, that would be a master play if he did play it on Shonee.
Yeah, but it was just an afterthought from him. Like, it definitely could have been a play. There's definitely ways that he could have done that. They definitely could have gone after Suri. They could have also tried to goad Parvati a little bit into, should I give mine to Suri?
Yeah.
Potentially. Although I don't think she
I don't think she would have.
But no. you could at least get her kind of second guessing whether that's true or not. Like they really should have got one of the two of them out, but they'd already decided, and that was sort of why that episode felt a little bit like, oh, we kind of know what
what's
was
gonna
happening
happen.
at the start. And I think I said towards the end, this feels like one of those episodes where they're throwing all sorts of things at you in the middle of the episode, but we're probably going to come back to where we thought it was going to go at the start.
So, like I mentioned, this episode and the previous two episodes just felt like such missed opportunities to be able to split up that Suri and Parvati combo.
Yeah, but they already decided that they didn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm trying to think. No one has really taken a big risk at council this season. Everyone's been doing like the safe play.
Yeah, Tommy kind of tried. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I'm sure other seasons, like the one where the one that Suri was talking about, and where she got booted off.
There have been so many
as a
things.
final 6 because everyone had something except her, and she just got eliminated because of it. Like that
when I listen to these podcasts and people talk about their favourite seasons, I'm like, all right, if I was going to manage to talk Ben into watching one more, which one would it be? And I have not settled on what it would be. There has been some absolute, just crazy things have happened sometimes, and yeah, we're not really seeing it here, and crazy things in the Australian ones and as well as the US ones.
Okay,
but yeah, we're not seeing it here. Sometimes it is just incredibly dynamic. I'm going to steal something that I did hear though from Shannon Gates,
who is a person.
Who covers a lot of Survivor and whose stuff I watch. She sort of, I think it was her theory rather than someone else, but she sort of posed that some of the people going to the end, like Janine and like Luke, are people that, although they were sort of famous in their seasons and were power players and everything, they didn't, and Shonee actually, they didn't actually make it to final tribal and to speak. Whereas some of the other players like Tommy and Cass did make it to the end and made their pitch and failed, and that maybe part of what is happening here with them not taking risks is that people like Luke and Shonee and Janine are a little bit like a pass mark for them is almost making it to the end, like getting a chance to pitch. Whereas the other two are like, I know what it's like to pitch and lose. Like I have to have a bigger game. I have to have a better move, or it's no good getting to the end, especially in the Australian one. There's no money, unlike the US, where there is sort of extra prize money.
Yep.
So her theory is that some of the players that went off earlier, even though they were trying things that might not have worked, like Tommy or Cass was sort of stewing on some things. I can hear from the Lisa interviews as well that the three of them were definitely trying to get something going. And I heard just tonight on one of the Lisa ones where she said that her end game was the three of them. Her end game didn't involve Suri, in her opinion. So I think, some of the others were trying to get to the end with a winning game, whereas maybe Luke and Janine and potentially Shonee were happy to just kind of get there, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
It was an interesting theory.
See what happens card, huh?
Yeah.
That's a Spirit Island reference right there.
I was also very happy to see in those post interviews Lisa sitting in front of her games. She's a real fan.
Yeah. We should reach out and play some board game arena with her. That's what we should do. Yeah, I'm sure she'd be up for it, right? She's not busy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're both saying at the moment Parvati, unless disaster strikes or something. I don't know. I just.
Yeah, I mean, if she wins, she goes through. If she wins the challenge, then she's going to go through and just win the lot, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of scenarios where something I really can't see Suri winning it.
No.
I am
can't.
curious whether Sari will try to do something to get Parvati out at the end, but I don't really believe it's going to happen. The only problem with that is that I'm not really sure what she's doing there. Otherwise, I'm not sure what. I'd be really interested to hear what her plan for how she thought she was going to win was, because she's played a lot before, and she's got screwed by luck, sort of famously a number of times. But she's never going to win a final challenge. She famously can't make fire, which is a much bigger component of the US ones, by the way. I won't even go into why, but it's related to Final Four. It's sort of like a way to get to the final three. So she can't do either of those things. So I'm not really knowing both of those things. She had to have a game where she thought someone would take her to the final three.
Well, the only way she can win now is if Parvati does not get immunity and she teams up with Luke and Janine to eliminate.
Yeah. And if that's what she does, then great. And they've just sort of not
but even then, I don't think she would win.
No, I don't know that. The only thing that makes me doubt a little bit is that the three world folk that she was with and did sort of cross the lines with a bit.
And she worked with some people in Australia people as well.
Yeah. It's not impossible, but it seems very unlikely. Janine won't win.
No.
Luke could win.
Chaos Boy, come on.
But I just can't see the Aussies sort of being just that parochial, and I really hope it doesn't happen. Like it's going to almost be embarrassing, I think. For him
because
to
I
win.
think we're both on the same page when we say Parvati. I did it. Parvati really deserves this. She's put in all the work and really dominated this entire season. There's not been 1 minute where she was not dominating.
Yeah. And if we get down to 3, then there's 7 on the jury, right?
Yes.
So it's 3 internationals. Well, actually, we don't know about
who's
3.
Going to get kicked off.
I think there's 3 Aussies, 3 internationals, and 1 extra. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess let's see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah, the old see what happens.
It'll be a longer one on Sunday. It'll probably be 7 p.m. Probably a good couple of hours.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. So you think it'll be a longer episode than normal, or still just the hour and a half? Oh, very excited. Very excited I am.
Oh, we could probably even look it up already, but I won't.
Yeah.
It's been fun being able to talk about it with you, Ben, in case I forget to say it.
I've enjoyed this. Hey, you know what? Maybe next season we might do it again. Next Survivor season, Australian. I'm not doing American Survivor.
Well, the American Survivor is actually shorter than the Australian Survivor.
But I like the longer ones because of all the because you get to know people better. I'm not saying I haven't enjoyed this. There's definitely been moments in it, and it's only because of the caliber of the players that there's been these really big moments in this season.
Yeah.
But if it was just regular people who'd never been on the show before, you would definitely have less of that. And hopefully more chaos. I like chaos. But
I'm thinking about all these other seasons. I'm like, mate, be the Kirby. That was a ripper.
Okay.
Reader.
All right. Until next Sunday, my friends. See you then.
Yep. See ya.